Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Alan Thomas with Rethink Dieting, and it's been a while since I've been live with you, but wanted to talk to you today a little bit about uh, emergency room reservations. But before I get started, I always like to let people know kind of where we come from. My wife Angie and I we work with men and women that struggle with obesity and have tried everything else out there, and we do this by not telling them what to eat and not telling them what exercises do. Do they have to change what they eat? Of course they do. Did we have to change what we eat to lose our 192 pounds collectively that we lost 6 years ago? Yes, absolutely. Does exercise help? Yes, absolutely. Some people cannot exercise though, and it's still possible to drop the weight. So what I want to talk to you about now, I get this a lot. Angie and I talk to dozens of men and women every week that are struggling with their weight, and most of them can't figure out why they're struggling. But what I find so often is it's not that they don't know what to do. In fact, I've never found that to really be the case. So many people say it is. I speak every day other than Sunday. I speak to people who say, I don't know why I can't lose weight. And here's the question I pose all the time. I pose this, and it's actually in our free online training, but I'll give it to you here. Is if the person in the world that you love the most had their life on the line, and literally you got a call that they were being held at gunpoint. God forbid this would ever happen, but they were being held at gunpoint. And the only way to get that individual back alive is to lose 1 pound over the next week. And if you don't lose that pound, they lose their life. And it's so interesting. And I'll say, now let me preface that to say by you can't ask anybody for what to eat. You have to just do what you already know how to do. Common sense stuff. Okay. You can't do anything crazy. It would have to be something that that a dietitian or nutritionist or medical professional would cheer for you to do. And I ask, do you know what to do to lose that 1 pound to save your loved one's life? Every single time I get, yep, I know what to do. So the doing it, that's the hard part. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, about urgency. And the title of today was Emergency Room Reservations. And it's a bit of an oxymoron. Oxymoron means a contradictory term. I'm not calling anybody moron, but it's a contradictory term because emergency rooms are reserved for emergencies. You don't make reservations weeks in advance, days in advance, months in advance, years in advance. Nobody does that because nobody plans on an emergency. If you were planning it, it wouldn't be an emergency. Now, are there some call ahead seating emergency rooms? Of course there are. There's all kind of things online, but I cannot find a single instance of an emergency room that will take a reservation weeks in advance or days in advance because there wouldn't be emergencies then. So my point with this is nobody plans for this to happen. Nobody plans on being 50 or 100 or 200 pounds overweight and having a heart attack, having a stroke, having cancer. Well, cancer is not always related to weight. Excuse that one. But the heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes, all the things that are directly related to weight. And there's probably some evidence out there about it being related to cancer. I'm not a doctor, but you hear, I've read things about that too. But the big ones, heart attack or stroke or type 2 diabetes being the thing that kills you. And it's just interesting how many people don't think it can happen to them. Well, gosh, nobody in the emergency room thought it would happen to them either. That's why it's an emergency. They didn't handle it before it was time. And I looked up something, and this is something I keep close by anyway. And Angie and I talk about this a lot, but 4.72 million men and women a year, that's total, worldwide, die of obesity-related illnesses every year. 4.72 million. That's 393,000 a month. That's almost 91,000 a week. That's almost 13,000 a day. That's over 538 an hour. That's 8 a minute. A minute, every minute, 8 people are dying. That's literally do the math all the way out like I did, it's about one person every 7 seconds dying of obesity. Boom, dying of obesity-related illnesses. And the other sideline is they know what to do, just like I did. And to give you a little history on Angie's and my story, for those of you who don't know us, this journey started for us in 2017, where I realized that I woke up one day and I got on the scale. It was March 2nd, 2017. It was the day after my 31st wedding anniversary. Angie and I have been married 31 years. We went out the night before, and I stepped on that scale, something I despised doing. I'd struggled with my weight for decades. And I stepped on the scale, and I saw 304 pounds flash back up at me. 304 pounds. I'm 5'11". I'm not 10 feet tall. 304 pounds blew me away. And immediately what I saw was my wife, Angie, who needed to lose some weight too, but she was not morbidly obese like I was, that she'd be married to another man. I mean, she'd be married to somebody else because I'd be dead. My kids would be mentored. Now, all our children are grown now, but they would be mentored by another man. And again, I don't think Angie's shopping around yet. I hope not. But we've been married for 37 years now and together for almost 43. But the point I make with all of this is I had a big reason why it was important to me. And this is another thing I talk about in my free training. Weight loss does not begin with the diet. All you guys are out there looking for a magical diet, just like I was. If you're looking for that, it doesn't exist. It doesn't. It just doesn't. But looking for a weight loss begins with why you're doing it. It's a decision. It's not a diet. We say this all the time. But I want you to wrap your heads around this and get a sense of urgency. I know I had an email. In fact, I'm going to read that to y'all from somebody. And this was somebody I do not know. They emailed Angie and me about a month and a half ago. It was on Mother's Day, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to disclose this individual's name out of respect for their privacy, but it was really interesting. Hang on, let's see. Pull this up. Excuse me for being a little slow on the uptick here. Let's see. Well, it's here somewhere. We're going to find it. But anyway, the essence of this email was that this particular individual, it's a lady, she'd watched our training, she'd watched our free training that we do, and it's a real training. It's not fluff, it's real stuff. And we talk a little bit about all the challenges of people who have obesity and not it affecting life expectancy. And it was really interesting. She was writing us an email from her hospital room, because she had lost a good bit of weight, but still had a good bit more to go. And she was really, really reaching out, watching my video for her, to help her husband. Okay, so here it is. I found it. Sorry to take so long. So greetings, Alan. So now this is an individual who just saw my training. Okay, and so I want you guys to get how important it is and why we push this training so hard. But so yes, I did listen to your webcast on Thursday afternoon around 1 p.m. I had just put my two grandkids down for a nap and dove right into listen. So many things you said hit the nail on the head, and it really hit me that you said a high percentage of initial heart attacks are fatalities, and they rarely do you see a man that's more than 100 pounds overweight who's over age 65. And that was me in my journey. I knew that, having been in the insurance business, I knew you didn't see many men that were over 65 with 100 pounds of weight. And then she said she took a snapshot of a lot of pages to share with her husband when he came home. He's also, he has a lot of weight to lose, over 115 pounds over about 5 years. He kept it off for about 12 years, but this was late. She kept hers off. So she still has about 30 to lose. So she still got some to lose. But anyway, 3 hours after she watched the training, those statistics that I cited were fresh on her mind, and she felt a pain in her chest that didn't go away for 15 or 20 minutes. She Googled the symptoms for women having heart attacks, and she had 2 of the symptoms: chest pain from earlier today, and noticed her neck was sore. At first, she thought it was her imagination, so she waited another 15 minutes before she told her husband. they went to the hospital and she was actually having a massive heart attack with 100% blockage in one of the arteries. So right now, on the eve of Mother's Day, she was writing this to thank me and for our concern for helping people, which is very kind of her. And she was in the cardiac ICU unit, and she was able to walk that day. So praise God that she lived and saw that training. But I want you guys to get that this is real, folks. This is real. You think that, just like I did, I thought I would always get to it another day. And we don't know when our last day is. We don't, but I do think we have a responsibility. If you're a Christ follower like Angie and I are, I mean, we know that our days are numbered, but we do have a responsibility to take care of these bodies. We do have a responsibility. And I don't talk a lot about the health aspect of weight. I talk a lot about the emotional side effects of being obese and the challenges that people have and with their weight. And hey, Dominic, I see you up there. Good to see you. And thanks for your note. But I see these situations happening so often where people live in this la-la land that'll never happen to them. And I can tell you, I'm not a doctor, but at the end of the day, common sense tells you if 4.72 million people a year are dying from obesity-related illnesses and you're obese. Now, you can say that you don't look obese. Everybody says how thin you are. I hear this all the time, by the way, and they do know how much you weigh, by the way, just like people knew how much I weighed. They probably were shocked that I only weighed 300 pounds. They probably thought I weighed 400 pounds, how healthy I was and obese. I was on no medication. I was on a cholesterol drug that my doctor took me off of. I forgot about that one. But I was in that denial too. So I want to say this to you from my heart, guys, pay attention. Pay attention. You can fix this. It's fixable. Now, is it easy? Heck no, it's not easy. Is it possible? Yes. So ignoring the fact that hospital emergency rooms don't take reservations, the reason they don't is because nobody plans an emergency. If it were planned, it wouldn't be an emergency. And I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm saying this to wake up. Wake up. Wake up and pay attention. I'm not saying it to shame anybody. I never tell people what they should weigh. I believe everybody in their heart knows what they should weigh. And I'm talking about their emotional heart. Everybody in their heart knows what they should weigh about that. And so pay attention to that. Get true to that and do something about it. And if you need some help, you can go to where we have our free online training. It's rethinkdieting.com. You register. The training, these trainings we run very frequently. So jump on there, register, watch the training, watch it. There's a reason that it's on there. It's totally free. There's nothing to buy. There's absolutely nothing to buy. There's no place on any of our websites where you can push a button and enroll in our program, because that's not how it works. Go rethinkdieting.com. Go there, watch that training. Then if you want our help, then go to transformmyfuture.com/apply. Again, that's transformmyfuture.com/apply. You can go there. And what you'll do, you'll come to a questionnaire. The questionnaire will ask you, it's very brief. I think it's about 8 questions, and most of them are multiple choice. The ones that aren't are things like your name, obviously, and things like that. So they're very simple questions, but it helps us prepare for the call. And then you go to a calendar, you'll book a time with Angie or me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get on that call. We're going to map things out for you. Number one, we're going to find out how bad your problem with weight really is. If you don't have a problem with weight over 25 pounds or more, don't book a call. This is not for you. This is not for somebody that has 10 pounds to lose. It's just not. That's not our specialty. Our specialty people who struggle with a lot of weight to lose, 25, 50, 100, 200 pounds of weight. That's our peeps. So if you struggle with that amount of weight, this is for you. So, but we want to know how bad your problem is with your weight, not just physically how many pounds, but what's going on in your life that it's interrupting. What's it holding you back from? Then we want to know, are you really committed to solve it, or are you just looking for a magic pill? Are you committed to solve the weight problem once and for all? And then if we think it's appropriate that we should even help. We're not for everybody. And I tell people that all the time. So it's how bad your weight is, how committed you are to solve it, and if Angie and I believe we can help you. And if we do, we'll show you what that'll look like. But it's a call that's about one thing and one thing only: the truth. We want to know the truth. It's safe. It's a safe environment. We are not on these calls. They're not to judge you. They're not to poke fun at you, because we know how it is. Angie knows what it's like to be overweight as a lady. I know what it's like to be morbidly obese as a man. 304 pounds, that's a big boy. And I know there are people bigger, and they've got hope too. And I think about so many of our clients. I think about, individuals who struggled for years. One that always comes to my mind is Rick. And Rick's 72 years old now. He was almost 200 pounds overweight and tried everything. Today, and it's taken him a while because he cannot exercise physically, has a lot of medical issues with his back, but he's dropped over 130 pounds. So it's possible. If he can do it, you can do it. But he did follow our strategies. We teach people what to do. We show you what to do, and we never tell you what to eat or what exercise to do, because if that were the problem, you'd already be thin. There's a million diets. There are, and we're not that. That's not word. Do you have to change what you eat? I say it every time. Yes. Do you have to do exercise? Well, Rick can't really exercise. He still lost weight, but we want you to. It's a good thing. It certainly helps. So jump into transformmyfuture.com/apply if you want to talk to us. But watch that training first. It may solve the problem right out of the gate. And God bless you guys. Have an amazing day, and we look forward to talking to you soon.